All right, call law Yahweh Bashim Abshai Bashim Kakadash. Double honor to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. And peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there, pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. Excuse me. And real quick, they just came out with this movie over the different things that R. Kelly's been doing, and certain events, certain accusations are coming out, which, it could be true. I have no idea. But what I just wanted to bring out was that there's a certain way to handle certain situations according to the Bible that could prevent chaos and confusion from coming out like this, because once again you got another situation where you get a bunch of women who team up. They team up with some people in Hollywood or whatever. They come out with a movie, or they come out with all these accusations, and now because the media hypes it up and because they come with a movie, everybody goes for it, everybody jumps on the bandwagon when they really weren't concerned of it in the first place. And this is not a video defending, any actions of R. Kelly, anything like that, but when you're dealing with judgment, you always have to have evidence. So I'm gonna just go into the scriptures on this one, because brothers have been preaching the word for many years, bringing out the different law, statutes, and commandments, and even the law on rape, because you got a lot of people saying that, basically, to give you a quick background on the situation of R. Kelly, if you ever heard, they did a Lifetime movie, Lifetime drama movie on him, trying to show the different things that he did to certain women. We know, of course, he got with a 14-year-old or something. They made some kind of tape, and then later he paid the woman off, and they dropped the charges, and then also, his other women who came out as accusers, they dropped charges because he settled out of court with them. So, he probably is guilty, but the problem people are having is, why wasn't the truth coming out? Why is everybody just taking the money and being quiet? And you're not supposed to do that. And I'm gonna just jump into the scriptures. This is Deuteronomy 22 and 21. Okay, yeah, this is Deuteronomy 22 and 20. This is when a woman is supposed to be married. Right. This is a woman. She's supposed to be married, a virgin, young woman who's never had sex. It said, but if this thing be true, and the tokens of her virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you. And that's right. That's if a man gets with a woman and he finds her, like I said, I found her not a maid. He finds her not a maid, and then if it be true and another man has got with her and she's supposed to be a virgin, that's what was supposed to happen. Now we know, when we're in Esau society, we can't keep the law. We can't do any of this. All of this stuff will be considered illegal. And that just goes to show you how, on a whole different level, we were in the ancient world versus right now. Goes to show you who's in charge. Esau the wicked. Because we can't keep our own laws. We really can't even call ourselves after the name of our power. we can't call ourselves Israelites. We have to be hidden in that too. So this kingdom, of course, is completely wicked, but that's what will happen if you marry a woman and it's found out that she's not a virgin. Like you said, the men of the city shall stone her because she has brought folly to Israel, and that put fear in people's hearts that they can't just play games like in the society. Because what a lot of those families were doing in the R. Kelly situation, they knew, of course, that their daughter, R. Kelly basically came to their daughters, whatever. I don't know the specifics on the ages, but they were young. They were, 15, in one case 14, 16, and 17, which, according to the ancient world, those are actually women because they've started having a cycle and stuff. But according, like I said before, we're under this man's laws, so you have to respect the law of the land. Okay, you have to deal with women. You shouldn't be dealing with any fucking women in high school. All the women you deal with should be grown women over 18. I'll put it like that. But in this particular case, he wasn't. He was dealing with these women, and I was talking to Jake at work. This is what prompted me to make the video, because Jake at work, he doesn't know he's an Israelite. He doesn't know anything, but he was trying to say, well, look, it's R. Kelly's fault 100%. But that's not true, because those women, he came to them, of course. He's a predator. He's promising them money and fame. But in order for you to be brainwashed, you have to allow somebody to brainwash you. You have to be with the shit. And in a lot of cases, they were. And there's a lot of cases that families knew, but they were paid to keep it quiet. And so they did. And he kind of agreed with that. He was like, well, yeah, they do have a certain part. And I asked him, I said, what percentage you think they were wrong? And even the girl who did it, the girls, they knew what they was doing. They was trying to fuck with a star. And, once again, they were at the age to be women according to the standards of the Bible, but according to standards of Esau, that's a no-no. So they were with the shit. Their family was with the shit. He was with the shit. And like I was telling him, it's everybody's fault. And this kind of rings true according to this is something a little different, but the woman, which I'm gonna get that too. The woman always also receives punishment too. The woman doesn't just get away, because that's what these women do. I don't know the inside details, or maybe he stopped paying them under the table. Maybe they got old, they got broke. Maybe they saw the Me Too thing as a chance to cash in on the wave. But for whatever reason, they're coming out now, when they could have been come out 20 plus years ago, and ended his career. But like I said, because they were probably paid, they kept it hush-hush, and that goes to show you the integrity of the people that we're dealing with today versus back then. The Israelites, we are the Israelites, but in the ancient days, they would cast evil away from Israel. Even though Israel did go off on many occasions, our commandments were to cast evil away from Israel. And the bullshit, and like I was telling Jake at work, black culture, black people, they tend to embrace the bullshit. They tend to be with the bullshit, with the folly. And like I told Jake, if your daughter is stupid enough to allow some dude to just exploit them just because he's a celebrity, then she should share the blame as well. And he got upset, basically, because he has a daughter, and he's saying, well, look, he has all this star power. It doesn't matter. That's another law too. You're not supposed to have any idols or anything like that. Yeah, you've always had men of stature and men of honor, but they weren't idols. You know, you have men who are worthy to be praised, like Yahweh Shai. Excuse me, but once again, they weren't idols. You know, even King David, he had to be punished in certain instances. So like it. Yeah, so you know, that whole star power shit, that whole Hollywood shit, that all that shit, like I was telling him, and all that shit is perverse, and they do all kind of shit behind the scenes, and you know, not sweeping it under the rug, but they played their part, and now they're just trying to cash in. I'm gonna just read a couple of details on it. You know, you can watch the fucking Lifetime movie on it. You know, this is old news. Everybody knows about it, but once again, because they're pushing this whole women shit, you know, they're gonna blow this shit up and try to, you know, make it seem like, you know, the Israelite man is just a complete demon, which some of them are. You know, some of them are. But the Israelite, was the so-called black woman, they play that part as well too. So you know what? I'm not even gonna read this shit. I'm not even gonna fucking read it. It's not. It's really not even important. You know, you can read it. You can see what he did. Something interesting though, it says Kelly's music saw a 16% surge in Spotify streams after Surviving R. Kelly premiered. That's, you know, people are still listening to his music. You got women who are still gonna go to his concert. They're still gonna try to get with him. Yeah, and this is scandals, lawsuits, and sex tapes. And once again, this is something that this is the kind of shit that Esau allows in society, though, for you to, because you know he has his rules about that kind of shit. But if you pay people enough money, you know they're not necessarily under the law, and that's wicked too. And then let me see. Oh yeah, so yes, Salakia. Because the scriptures say what? There should be no, Deuteronomy 23:17, there should be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor sodomite of the sons of Israel. And what do you see amongst the daughters of Israel? They acting a damn fool, you know, because like I was me and Jake at work was talking, and you know, the conversation was changing over to, you know, how to treat women and all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, look, if somebody, you know, tried to get with your woman or it was a celebrity, you're going to expect your woman to say no. And you're not going to try to get with anybody else's woman. But then Jake goes on to say, well, look, you know, that's part of the game. If they get with my woman, they get with my woman. You know, the common thing of Jake. Adultery, that for them, that's just normal. It is what it is. And that's another reason why we're destroyed, man, because we got nothing but whores. And we got, you know, social media, all these things to broadcast yourself for all nations to see. You know, because all nations, they're watching, they're looking at Israel. They remember, a lot of them, they remember us throughout history, and they're watching us. And man, it's like I said, man, the daughters of Israel, Esau has completely destroyed them, pretty much, you know, except the few sisters who are riding, you know, with the faith or whatever. But, you know, in this society, basically, man, nothing is pure. You know, a woman is supposed to be a possession for a man. She's supposed to be pure. None of these women are pure. But that's That's just the simple thing. I'm not gonna harp on that. This is Leviticus 19:29, and because we know we're gonna receive new bodies. Basically, we're gonna receive new bodies and a new mind. We're gonna receive a lot when we inherit the kingdom of heaven, and that's another motivating factor for us to push. Seeing, you kind of see the potential of what Israel could be, but then you see the reality of what they do and who they are. Situations like this, and it's just disgusting. It makes you want to push even more against the bullshit. For the Lord to just go ahead and wipe our slate clean, and for us to inherit the kingdom of heaven. And that's what it's about. This is the final go around. This is the final lap. Leviticus 20:19, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. And that's another thing, another contributing factor to the wickedness in Babylon. You got grown men, grown women allowing their daughter to be a hoe. There's so many synonyms for hoes in the society. It's crazy. Sluts, stots, all of that. All of that is commonplace. Happens day to day, house to house. It's like it said, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. Yeah, we're so, because when we came here, we were slaves. And we clung on to, we tried to cling on to everything that was good, do the best we can, et cetera, et cetera. And from the time that we were free and in the Jim Crow era where we were, families till now, where the liberals have created so many, where Esau has created so much legislation to destroy the family system and destroy, Israelites. I mean, this place has become completely wicked. I just think about not to make this long, but our grandparents' generation. Those women, at least, a lot of them are very foolish, but at least they understood that they were women, and they had a certain respect for themselves for the most part. But then, now that shit is completely gone and out the window. It's completely gone. Another reason the Lord has to come and destroy this place. And another reason we know that this is Babylon, this is confusion. This land has become full of wickedness. I'm going to skip over this one. I'm going to jump straight to the point, get straight to the end. And because, once again, people got emotional that this was brought out. But this is why, in these cases, because people get emotional, when you're dealing with these kind of topics. You're dealing with rape and you're dealing with trauma. And, these women are trying to say they were brainwashed or some shit, which, that's bullshit. They were in love with a star and willing to do anything he said, that they had to do. And he did abuse them and he used them. Doesn't take away from that fact. He used them for what they were, and they got put in a bad situation. But that's what happens when you deal with certain people. And that's what Israelites, that's what we teach. Okay, that's what the Bible is about. That's what Israel was about, having a standard. Jake at the job, he doesn't have a rulership mentality. I picked up on that very quickly. Somebody who's a king, they're not trying to deal with any woman off the street, any woman who could talk to them anyway. As men, we're supposed to have a standard. Even if you're not getting, every bitch or however many women you deal with, you have a standard, because we're Israelites. At the end of the day, we're ruling. We are the kings of this earth. And he said we're not supposed to lower our standards, just so you can beg a bitch for some ass or some crazy shit. Hell no. We're supposed to keep our standard, you know. And when she's ready, then she'll come to you, or the Lord will send her to you, or however you want to say it. So that's why you deal with the scriptures. You got to deal straight with the book, because what is Israel doing? They're not seeing the setup. Because they were broadcasting this for that whole document, Color of Change. Color of Change helps you do something real about injustice. Well, it's a .org. It's a private organization. It's a non-profit organization. What does it say? Donate. That's the first thing. We pledge to protect black girls. No, they're not. They're not doing shit. This is Esau. This is what Esau has invested in. They've invested in trying to infiltrate, and this is another reason, like I was telling Jake, why our community is how it is. Well, number one, it's not a community. Because for you to have a community, you have to have people you answer to. You have to have people who are guard. You have to have people of a certain rank that you have respect for. And you don't have that in the so-called black community. It's an anything goes mentality. America, it's a capitalism. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're capitalizing on the struggle of our people, of our women, and then pushing this whole, most of these chicks are Edomites. Pushing this whole, feminism and all this bullshit. And just look at this. I'm gonna end it too. I'm not gonna make this too long. These are partners and allies. Here's one partner of it, the creative producer of the show Girlfriends, which is a show about some fucking black women. Basically black Sex in the City. The Game, that's another drama lace show. Being Mary Jane. Man. Okay, she's the creative producer of those shows, but she's a partner. Salakia. Okay, then you have the co-founder of Black Lives Matter. So, Esau has heavily invested in moving the mind of the people, including Jake. And that's why ultimately, the Lord is only dealing with his elect. Because like the scriptures say, if it be so possible, he'll fool the very elect. Well, he's not gonna fool the elect. Through the will and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, the elect don't be fooled. And I'm gonna just end it on this, because this is something else that's interesting. Basically, this is a video at 2016, which is 3 years ago. As you're gonna see, that's one chick from the Surviving R. Kelly thing. They show her, right up court, smiling, laughing to the music. I think it shows another up. Yep, there's another chick. Yep, having a good time at the concert. Let's see what else. And then, there's another chick, so-called accuser. So, hey, that's why the scriptures are clear about how we're supposed to treat these certain situations. I'm not gonna read it, but if a damsel that I'm not gonna read the full thing. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them out both unto the gate of that city. There you go, and it's gonna go on to tell you, if she's not betrothed, he has to pay the father certain shekels, and that becomes his wife. If she is betrothed and she didn't cry out, she gets put to death. And then if she did cry out, then just him. And that's the law. None of this bullshit where motherfuckers can just band together and say some shit. But hey, with that being said, call Lord Yahbashim Abushai. Hopefully this was edifying for you. Continue to fight through the faith. Shalom. Yeah.